Hello YouTube, it's William here with Gopher Trains. Today, I've got an interesting video for you. I'm going to be showing you the experience and a bunch of the vendors and stuff at the 2021 Titletown Train Show. I went this Sunday, got there right as it opened at 10 o'clock, and I had a really great time. So for those who couldn't attend and for those who are interested in seeing what it's like there, I took some videos. Right now you're seeing some of the layout action. They had a couple modular layouts there. Once we're done taking a look at these, there's only like 3 clips. We're going to go over to the vendors. They had a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of really interesting stuff, and I spent way too much money. But that's a story for later. Once we're done looking at vendors, we're going to look at everything that I bought, and then we'll close it out with some pictures and a few running demos on my friend Varun's layout from the YouTube channel Varooning Trains. So I hope you guys are really excited to jump in and see everything that's there, because I know I am too. I'm going to be narrating just like this, candidly, just watching the video and recounting my experience, so I hope you guys enjoy. Anyways, all of the layouts shown here are from local Wisconsin clubs. I don't remember the names, I didn't take pictures, I was just kind of rushing. Anyways, before we get into the actual vendor shots, I just want to explain that a lot of vendors didn't really take kindly to me taking pictures and filming their stuff. I don't exactly know why, but yeah, so here we go. Right here we're just taking a look at a lot of train cars. This is one of the first vendors that you get to when you reach the back. A lot of the stuff was just incredibly priced. Right now we're taking a look at their selection of diesels. This set of Milwaukee Road units by BLI really caught my eye. And just walking around. I didn't actually buy anything from this vendor, but they did have a lot of really nice looking rolling stock. This vendor, actually, if we could pause the video right here, I can't, but that Chippewa's a bit of a meme because that's been in that vendor's catalog for like the past 2 years. Anyways, this is one of the most incredible vendors at the show. They had so much amazing stuff. I didn't actually buy anything from them because they didn't have anything that I was looking for, and prices were a bit expensive. This 20th Century Limited set in box was a real eye-opener for me. I mean, I love that thing. Anyways, heckin' Conrail. So yeah, lot of really nice stuff. The prices at this booth were about average, maybe even a little bit high, so I passed on just about everything I saw. From this vendor, I bought a Blue Goose Diner from IHC for $12.95. This is their selection of freight and passenger cars. Moving down the ways, soon, if I'm remembering the order of filming this correctly, this is just all freight cars. Most of these were at about $10 a piece. This, coming up here, if I'm remembering correctly, was my favorite vendor the entire show and the person I bought the most stuff from. So they had a bunch of their $10 each freight cars. And then when you come around to the actual locomotive stuff, their selection was immense. They had tons of IHC steamers, a lot of Rivarossi stuff. I'm about to zoom in on an FEF. He had 2 of these things. This one was $125, which is a great price. I ended up buying a lot of stuff from him, which I will get into at the end of the video. I don't want to spoil it. Tons of great IHC steamers. I mean, if I had the money and the excuses, I would have picked up half the table. I didn't focus on it here, but there was a Western Maryland 280 consolidation that I really wanted, but didn't have the money for. $85 Dreyfus. Again, I don't need another one, but interesting prices. And then over here, they had a Challenger, and that's his other FEF, as well as a Bachmann Plus Series Niagara. Great engine. As well as another RF&P Burke, $70. I really didn't need another one of those, you all know that. This vendor is one of my least favorite right here because simply the guy operating is pretty rude. Why, I don't know. But yeah, he had a lot of trouble moving anything. Duluth, Mesabi, and Iron Range Pacific, or Mikado. Not a terrible price for that Y6 either. I've seen him go much higher. This is that previous vendor, my favorite vendor's stash of diesel power. He had a lot of really good prices on this stuff too. If you're interested in anything specific, you can pause the video and zoom in. Gas Electric Doodlebug from Santa Fe. I used to have one of those. I loved it. And that stack is where I got one of my items. So now we're moving on to another vendor. Literally nothing to see here. Lots of N-scale stuff, nothing super interesting. At least for me. Make it to the end of the table, and you can see he's got some nice passenger sets. A lot of Kato stuff. I apologize for the Discord notifications in the background. Anyways, I would say that this show was pretty proportional in terms of HO scale to O scale to N scale. I focused a lot on the HO. This booth was the first one that you see actually selling things when you walk in. They had quite the range of prices. Some of it was pretty reasonable, a bit of it was way too overpriced. $55 for both of those Western Maryland engines, so not bad. A little bit expensive on the Dreyfus, but if you really want one, that was in good shape. Redbox cab forward going pretty nice. I didn't show it here, but he also has a Plus Series GS4. You can just catch it in the top of the frame. So yeah. I saw a lot of PRR K4 Pacifics. I saw, I think, 3 of the pre-war versions, and I almost bought one, but I found something else that made me decide otherwise. Here's one of the Lionel-focused booths. There's also some American Flyer stuff to the left. I only bought HO stuff this time, as I didn't really find anything super eye-catching in any of the other scales. Really decent prices for passenger sets. I did buy a passenger set, and it's probably one of the most incredible deals I've ever gotten at a train show. More Lionel stuff. And I was originally going to purchase this mountain that I'm about to show from IHC, but he ended up wanting like $75 for it, so I passed. It just wasn't worth it, missing too much stuff. This booth I'm trying to remember. There were a number of booths that were just forgettable simply because they didn't have anything out of the ordinary. A lot of diesel power, a lot of rolling stock. Here's that weird Tyco thing I was telling my friend Dan about. $50. Sorry. I don't know if that one's particularly rare or not. I just thought it was insanely pricey. A lot of AHM rolling stock. Yeah, so that's about all that booth had to offer. Lots of higher-end DCC and sound equipment here. I didn't buy anything from this booth either. It's all very pricey. Bunch more diesels. And over here, you can actually see one of the items that I bought if you are very sharp with your eyes. Actually, I might have removed it. Lots of power packs. But this booth had a lot of very inexpensive items. I was thoroughly impressed with their prices. You're going to see in a minute a lot of very inexpensive diesel power, some nice IHC steamers. A lot of those $25 boxes are all Spectrum diesel engines, which is incredible. I'm about to show you the K4 that I almost bought. I already have one and I really didn't need another, but for $50, that's quite the steal. Sorry. Anyways, there were a few other booths here that had the usual railroad memorabilia and stuff. Unfortunately, the stuff that was right at the entrance, the stuff that greets you immediately, is all Garden Scale Thomas things. Anyways, this thing I was super surprised to see. It was an entire John Wilkes set and the 5 cars for $650, which, given the current prices, is actually a pretty dang good deal. If I didn't have one, I might have jumped at that. Anyways, a bunch more rolling stock. I didn't get anything from this booth either. So yeah. This is one of the more Lionel-centric areas. This one is also right near the front. Anyways, I apologize for the framing on a lot of this stuff. That booth on the right had a lot of... It was almost all rolling stock. They had no locomotives aside from a few very high-end diesel pieces. Now this table is actually another one of my favorites. Blue Goose was way expensive, but the other stuff was pretty reasonably priced. This is the table where I got the Holy Grail find of the show. And over the closing clips, I'll do some more narration about the story of what happened at this booth and why I was so ecstatic about it. But yeah, great prices, super nice guy working. I'm glad I made his acquaintance, and I'll probably see him again at future shows. But he had some great stuff at really good prices. I didn't show them in the video because people were looking at them at the time, but he had a bunch of Concours N-Scale Rail Baron Hudsons at $75 a piece, which is pretty dang cheap. He had a Concours, he had a Pennsylvania, a Great Northern, and an NYC. I wanted to grab the NYC one, but I just didn't have enough money. This was the most impressive Lionel booth of the lot. It had a lot of really cool post-war equipment. I didn't focus on this too much because I know a lot of you guys are here for River Aussie and other HO stuff, but I was very impressed by their selection here, and it was all in very good shape. Here's one of their 2332 GG1s. Gorgeous engine. I'd love to own one someday. Anyways, turbines, steamers, diesels, great selection. And coming back over here, I already showed this booth. Just some more diesel stuff, the rolling stock again. You can't see it, but off camera I'm looking at one of the pre-war steamers right there. This was the American Flyer booth, and there were a lot of super cool engines here. I just really couldn't justify picking anything up, as I'd already spent most of my money. That's the 484 Northern, one of the holy grail steamers of American Flyer. The 080s I was super impressed with, and you'll see them in a second, but they had some very nice looking American Flyer circus locomotives. But this booth had just about everything you could ever want in an American Flyer booth. I was very interested in these passenger cars, but they were just too expensive for me. But yeah, these were both in great shape. They looked fantastic. Alright, so those are all of the vendor clips that I recorded. Like I said, it was very difficult for me to get footage this time, but hopefully I won't have as many problems at later shows. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and hop over to my car with footage that I recorded immediately after the event, and we're going to take a look at everything I got. So I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so, holy cow. Just left the show, and we're here in the best car ever made. So, yeah. I'm just going to get right into this stuff because, oh my god, I don't think I've ever had a show that was that insane. Got this Blue Goose Diner. This is the second to last thing that I bought for 13 bucks in the box. Not crazy, but, you know, good price. This is the last thing I bought. I bought it with my last $2. A California Fast Freight Southern Pacific reefer. And yeah, the top's off, so there's that. Okay, I'm gonna go backwards in the order of things that I bought. Got a Proto 2000 Heritage. This guy, I'm gonna try to open it up here with one hand. I gotta use two. I'm gonna set you on the lid. One sec. All right, so we're back. Sorry about that. Just had to call the girlfriend. I'm just gonna show you this really briefly, but this is a gorgeous engine. We have an NYC. Good Lord. Somebody left a loaf of bread and a Budweiser over there, and the seagulls are having a great time, but it's a New York Central 080. And this was cheap. This one was 75 bucks. It is straight DC. There's no sound. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful locomotive. I'm gonna put this guy back in the box for now. And these I'm not gonna take out and show you, but this was 40 bucks for the set of 5 cars. We've got Spectrum, New York Central heavyweights. I'm kind of short on time because I'm meeting up with my friend who was at the show yesterday. And this is where things start to get a little bit crazy. I bought this Blue Goose right here, basically brand new in the box, $95, which is a bit more than I usually like to pay. Actually, the next items that I'm going to show you were a grand total of $300 altogether. So, and that sounds like a lot, but you'll see why in just a moment. Here is the NMRA Headquarters Express, 65 bucks for this locomotive and tender. Beautiful combo. I don't know the number on it yet, or if it even has one. The number might have come off after years of, you know, use, all those things. The second to last item that I got is right here. Be quiet, good Lord. Anyways, this is a Blue Line Niagara, DCC ready, with sound, 175, like new. I would unbox this, but it's a whole chore, and it's beautiful. And this is the final item. This is the one that I am the most excited about. This is the one that I didn't even expect to find this. I remembered the vendor that had it, and I was standing there and I recognized him, and I was like, hey, do you still have this thing? And he pulled it out, and sure enough, he did. Let's take a look. This should already be looking pretty good to some of you. And then in the bag, finally, after years of searching, we have the Southern Pacific 442 Atlanta. This thing was not cheap. This guy cost me 150 bucks, but it's in literally perfect condition. I don't know how well it's displaying on camera, but this thing is just phenomenal. I cannot wait to fire it up for the first time. But yeah, so if there's anything I have to summarize, I will do so in the narration that I'll be recording for the video. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching, for coming on this incredible journey with me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Alright, so past me lied, and here I am recording more narration. I'm going to roll through a few pictures. That's the Blue Line Niagara. But anyways, as we show these running demo shots, I just want to explain the story behind the 442. So at the Ballast Scorchers train show that I shot a video of briefly, it's on my channel, of my walk around, you can see me pick up that exact Atlantic. When I found this guy's booth this time, I recognized that horrible 280 consolidation that he had. Oh, this Challenger has a story as well that I'll get into in a second. I recognized a horrible condition, a 280 consolidation that he had, one of the early Rivarossi European ones, and when I saw it at his booth today, I realized it was the same engine, same guy, same vendor. Here's the Atlantic running. Anyways, so I talked to the guy. I was like, hey, you had a Southern Pacific Atlantic a while ago. Do you still have that thing? And he didn't recognize it first. I had to mention it a few times. I showed him a few pictures, and as he's bending down under the table to check his boxes, I said, hey, I think you had it marked at $150. And he comes back up and he says, yeah, that's what the tag says, and he set it down in front of me on the table. Did I say 150 or 130? I don't remember. But anyways, I ended up paying $130 for the engine, which, wow. I don't remember if I messed up my narration earlier, but anyways, yeah, I finally got one. Story of the Challenger is that thing was $160. My friend picked it up for me the day prior in case I wouldn't be able to come, but I ended up making it anyways, and he gave it to me shortly afterwards. So yeah, that's the story. Alright, and so that is actually, truly, fully going to do it for today. If you guys made it all the way to the end, I know this is a super long video. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Don't worry, as I'll be producing more content on those engines soon. I'm going to service that Atlantic, and I'll have a video of it running very shortly. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.